I've calmed my ratchets, and I'm ready to give you the story time of the first client in my 15-year career behind the chair that I've had to tell, get the fuck out of my studio. For those that know me locally, I am Carrie Beeson. I'm a master cosmetologist, and I own my own studio. I rent a space here in town. It's beautiful. No one is my real dad. And honestly, I'm almost 40 years old and at this point in time in my life where I do not give a fuck if people know that I love people. I'm a diehard liberal. I'm pretty sure I am a gay man who has been reincarnated into this meat suit that I am trying to dress up but not doing the best at. All this is to say, you can kind of see where I'm going, but I don't usually try to allow people ever to talk about things that are offensive to any marginalized group. You know, no racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, transphobia, any other phobia. What are you fucking scared of, first of all? Like, stop being, we're the snowflakes, shut up. But this one really strikes a chord with me, with the gun laws in our country. And I am sorry, you can say whatever you want. No, you can't, actually. I'm going to make this declarative statement now. I don't know how anyone can look at me as fabulous and as glittery as I am and be like, you know what that bitch probably loves? A MAGA hat and fucking, like, you know, ARs. Like, just don't talk to me about it. If that's you, do not tell me that's you, because I do look down on you and I do not care anymore. At 40 years old, if you value guns over, and when I'm telling you, like, I would like my kids to be able to wear light up shoes to school without that being like an issue for obvious reasons. But if you were a person who believes or wants to argue with me that like my fears are invalid and stuff like that because you want to go have fun at the gun range, like, get the fuck away from me. We are not the same. I love all people, animals, and I'm a total empathy-driven, like, decent person. And I'm sorry that's not you, Pammy. She made sure when I told her, I was like, you know, I'm going to ask some people, like, if this is, she's like, make sure you change my name. Okay, Pammy, we're going to change your name for the sake of privacy things, and because honestly, I don't want to give you any reason to try to, like, do whatever, because you're insane. But this woman sits in my chair tonight, and mind you, I am constantly trying to help this bitch because she doesn't have enough money for her hair or whatever. I will always help those that don't have it right now because I have been in that position. I have been homeless. I have been fucking an addict. I have been an alcoholic. Like, I have brought myself up from fucking nothing. But that all goes to show I do everything that I do for my kids. Do not argue with me whether your rights supersede my kids having a face. And that is what the whole fight started over. And I told her, I was like, hey, you're not going to fucking change my mind on this. You're not going to make me see where you're not a bad person for actually saying that they're fun. When we talk about Uvalde, is it fun? Why is your fun supersede these parents having their children? And that's what I tried to say. And I kept telling her, like, stop talking to me. We're not the same. I care about my fellow man. I care about children. I care about my children's future. If that's not you, you should keep that shit to yourself because it makes you look disgusting. But then I also started getting louder, and I had to remind this bitch, I grew up in one of the worst parts of Louisville. One of the worst. I have seen things that fucking, like, you went in, like, before I knew it, the head was going, and before I knew, I was in full-blown ratchet mode, having to scream at them. I'm like, get the fuck out of my studio, you fucking dumb bitch. And I swear to God, it took everything in me not to slap the fuck out of her. Because when it comes to my kids, honey, that attitude goes straight the fuck back to Taylor Boulevard. But even more so than someone that comes to me with arguments without any facts, any fucking facts whatsoever. No even facts even like back up like your like weird claims you're getting off of like X or whatever. But just shut the fuck up. But let's not even like glaze over the fact. And I looked at her, I was like, how fucking dare you do this right now when I'm telling you to shut up, stop stressing me out, when you know for a goddamn fact I almost died this last 2 weeks. Not that you care because you're so fucking self-absorbed that you don't notice anyone else around you having fucking problems, Pammy. But I forget that Pammy has only been my client for like a year. So, like, goodbye. Like, I have clients that I've been with for like 15 years that have seen me, like, at my very fucking worst and my best. And you know what? There'll be another of you Pammies tomorrow, because that's how hair works. It's a revolving door. And the older I'm getting, I'm starting to realize I don't have to sit here and listen to someone tell me that my fears for my kids are invalidated because she's 60 and has already raised her fucking kids. Yeah, your kids got to grow up in a much safer time than mine. So shut the fuck up on issues you don't understand. And the whole time, Pammy is like trying to, I don't know, convince. You're really convincing yourself, because honestly, at that point, I was like, I just think you're dumb. Like, I mean, I really don't care. Get out. I was telling this woman to get out for like 10 minutes. Well, she's like, are you serious? As a fucking heart attack whore. And for a little bit of backstory, I started out doing hair in what I guess would be considered one of the rough ends of Louisville. And I worked for this psychotic lady, and we'll call her, I don't know, Beth. She looks like a Beth. No, actually, I know a couple Beths that I like. That's not a nice name for her. Karen. No, I know a couple Karens I like to see. This is hard. But anyway, this troglodyte, okay, like, was one of the worst people I've ever met in my life. But she also tried to instill in me that all money is good money. It didn't matter where it was coming from, how they degraded you, or what the fuck ever. It was good money, right? Wrong, bitch. Because I'm going to tell you now, I would rather sell my soul to fucking Satan than have to listen to someone talk over me, disrespect my fucking boundaries, disrespect communities of people that I love and have supported me and brought me through so much shit, for your weird, unbased fear that someone's going to pop in your house at night, undocumented, with an AR. They started going on about like the terrorist attack. She's like, and then my friend from the Homeland Security Department, which she gave me the fakest name ever. Someone tell me, is there a Brian O'Neill that works for Homeland Security? Because I would really like to know if that's a real thing, or if she's full of shit like everything else. Do I regret this? No. I've been through a lot, and I've learned also, I will no longer allow anyone to disrespect me or anyone else around me. Like, it takes very little to be a good person, to listen to something that somebody is obviously saying, this affects me. You are upsetting me right now talking about my kids. Think beyond your fucking self for a second. Maybe think about others. Like, and the grossest part of this is when I was like, maybe you should watch some of the interviews with the parents from Uvalde. And think about what it's like to raise kids in this time, and to want more for them and better, and not have your fucking 9-year-old come up to you and give you logical things about active shooter drills and why they don't work. Don't talk to me about mental health when you were one of the most unstable fucking psychos I've ever met in my 15 years of being behind the chair. And for anybody else, you can come in. You want to think like that? That's fine. But you might get the Carrie that once slapped a dude almost unconscious for a jug of quarters. Good night.